Okay. What's wrong, little girl? What's wrong, child chaser? No, you're not going outside, so don't even think it. Anyhow, because I'm using the headset, I figured I'd actually talk about something about past relationships. I know a few, my exes on my friends list. Hi, how are ya? And, a lot of you that I still talk to, or at least try and stay in contact with, it potentially has ended bad. Or it was a mutual agreement that we weren't meant to be together as boyfriend-girlfriend. Kind of like my ex Daryl. Hi, how are ya? Back when I was younger. And it ended bad with my friend Rich at the time, or my ex Rich at the time. It ended bad with this guy named Lloyd. And the latest disaster, I think, was about 8 years ago, and it was Jay. Now, I'm not going to tell you how it ended. I'm not going to tell you why it ended, or, how it all became to end, because that'd be rather douchey of me, and very mistrusting of everything like that. And because there's more than multiple ways of telling the side of a story, I think it's best that I don't. But for those who actually have inquired in the past, and that probably would like to know, technically I have never broken up with Jason's dad. It was more or less being pushed out of the way by his family and stuff when he had his aneurysm. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, when another door closes like that, it's not necessarily something to be fighting for, because it takes a lot of effort, time, and energy. And, if it was really something meant to be, he would have taken more steps when he was well. I've been taking this with a lot of love and light over the past 7 years, and thinking to myself, I've had a lot of lying, I've had a lot of cheating, I've had a lot of stealing, I've had it where I've been raped, I've been beaten, and, the rape was actually a date rape. That was about 12 years ago. And I know you're probably going, oh, well, rape survivors don't normally necessarily tell the truth about being raped. I was about, oh God, I think it was about 20 years old, 19, 20 years old when this happened. And I'm 31 now, going to be 32 in May, so this will give you an idea. So about 12 years, so I'm ballparking it pretty well. And, I thought the guy was just going to take me home to his place and have it where, I could turn around and watch a movie for a little bit after we went out drinking and stuff like that. His parents were home. And he ends up fixing me a drink, and I didn't think anything of it. It got to the point where I couldn't fight back, and I didn't know where it was. Shady deal, I'm telling you. Every single time I drive past Trinity Church Road, I will say to one of my male friends, whoever is there with me, that I trust, I hate that road. And that's because his house was there. I didn't know it was his house until after one time when I had to go to a farm that was a friend of my mom's, and we had to go down that road to get to her house. So, needless to say, it's been quite interesting growing up with that situation in the back of my brain. I think my problem is that I have a lot of problems with relationships, and I act the tomboy and I act the big tough woman a lot, and the loud obnoxious person. Meanwhile, I'm very calm and reflective internally, and I think it's because after all these years of having to do certain things a certain way, it has become my security blanket. My ex Lloyd, he used to hit the God, he hit me, and he got me during a time when I caught him cheating and lying to me, and then that rape thing happened, and I was being scared. I got back with the fucker, and then being beaten because he wasn't getting his way, or the sugar train stopped because I wouldn't give him any money. Yeah. He used to push me around. He choked me against doors, And to this day, he doesn't want people knowing this, but personally, I don't give a shit. I would hit back, and every single time I hit back, it would get worse. The more of the mind games would get worse, the more of the drama would get worse, and no matter how much I tried to leave, it took having to find somebody else, and use them as a stepping stone, unfortunately, and that was Jay, to get rid of this gentleman. I am very monogamous, and I'm finding that, chivalry and monogamy are pretty much dead these days. I am getting sick and tired of being such a loyal person in relationships, or having it where I put my heart on my sleeve, instantaneously to show them a good human being, and potentially getting taken for a ride. And I know a lot of you are probably going, why would you do that in the first place? Number one, a lot of us are getting sick and tired of being fucked over, and it would be great to show that somebody else who actually knows those shoes can just turn around and say, hey, I know what it's like to be in those shoes. I know what it's like to be fucked over. I know what it's like to actually turn around and have to be subjected to numerous things. I hated being the scapegoat for somebody, and I hated being all this negative for somebody else. And in the process of, being hurt and all this stuff, I have put up walls, I've put up barriers, physical, mental, emotional, to the point where I didn't want to be desired anymore. It was so scary in the back of my brain because, Jay's mom had me believing for the longest time that I was a black widow. That everything I touched, potentially, sorry about this, was more or less my fault, the reason why he is the way he is. And then it took me a while to reoccur in my brain and go, wait a minute, he was a fucking drug addict. He was an alcoholic, And there's so many things that, even when a person cheats on you, lies to you, you honestly think it's your fault. But it's not your fault. It's necessarily not your fault. It's all their fault, because they couldn't see the best in you. Right? I know I'm relearning how to be myself again, and go back to being the strong, beautiful woman inside that has been dying and in this darkness for ages. And she's lost sleep, and she's been battered, she's been bruised, she's been broken, and now she's trying to find her way back. And it's so hard to come out this damn hole, because you're so used to assuming the worst is going to happen. You're so used to having it where, some asshole is going to come out and hurt you. I think the only one that never did hurt me was Daryl. And I think that's because we ended up on a friendship. It was a mutual understanding. And Mr. Jordy, I thank you for that, because, if it wasn't for that mutual understanding and the talk we had prior to that breakup, due to the drama that we went through when I was younger, I don't think that, I still have the potential chances of actually trying to reach out to you occasionally on the internet. I know you're living way up north and I can't see you, so, I do wish you the best in all your endeavors. I wish everybody the best that I've ever been with. But I think I'm at that point in my life where it's like, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. And I know I'm not the best looking piece of material out there, and I'm not the cover girl model type, but I got a good brain. I got a good heart. I will give you the shirt off my back if I need to. And all I ever ask is that you do the same in return. I don't want to be one of those girls that has 2 kids and turns around and you think to yourself, God, she's just looking for a new daddy. I'm not that. I'm actually looking for someone who's going to be James and Jason's buddy along this journey with me, that can turn around and say, and this is Sandy, it's okay, you're human. It's okay. You're a geek. You can go nuts over certain things, and we'll just smile and wave like at the penguins of Madagascar. I think there's a lot of things in lost in translation when you're an older woman who has children. And I think it has to do with the fact that a lot of men nowadays are so scared to get sapped into a ready-made family when they're not ready. And I'm also finding that, there's a lot of them that are just out for a quick fuck. Thinking that, hey, she's got 2 kids. Easy peasy. Let me squeezy. But it don't work that way. I'm finding that there's a lot of things that, in the process of being a new educated woman, again, well, newly educated, I should say, and finding who I've been missing out on internally, and having lived in this dark, deep sadness for the longest time, I'm now finding out parts of myself that, need to come back out. So, all I ever really wanted is to just have fun in the first place. My idea of dating a guy is not like the romantic type that most women would suggest. Because I am a photography student and a geek, go for a walk with me. Go for a drive. Go have a hamburger or something with me. Just joke around like you were my best friend. Just sit there and learn to be by my side. Get to know me. Take the smaller steps in life to actually see how I think. See what makes me tick. And I'll do the same. And, I've yet to meet any man that can really see into me instantly, except for one person, but he's a friend in school. And it scares me because, he can see right through me. Because he's that observant. And, there's a lot of things that I think to myself, fuck. I want to have a life where, somebody laughs at my snafus or my Murphy's Law habits and goes, yep, she did it again. Oh, crap, she did it again. And understand when I go, nope, 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 nope. No. That doesn't necessarily mean no. It means I'm joking around with you and that it's not a no. It's a, oh my god. What the? You just said what? What the fuck? Word the fuck? Oh my god. It's one of those situations. I am not really feminine. So my choices of wording always come off as being negative, so it's kind of scary. I'm finding that, I am one weird geek-tastic woman. And I'm very eclectic, and, finding somebody that actually clicks with you is hard, because you honestly think to yourself, after being fucked over so many times, is there somebody actually out there waiting for me? Is there actually somebody out there that's going to be loyal, going to be honest, but going to be kind, going to be caring, treat me like gold, and not treat my kids as if they're non-existent, or as if, they aren't worth something. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not looking for a parent. I'm looking for somebody who could be their buddy. They could turn around and say, hey, we can't talk to mom about this. Can we turn to you? Kind of freaky if you think about it. And I'm finding that, I'm finding new things about myself that I forgot were there. It's pretty interesting. For the longest time with all this bullshit going on in my personal life, I thought I was drop dead fucking ugly. I honestly never saw any beauty within myself because I let other people put me down, and I let other people just drag me down to the point of where I gave up. And it's a very dark place when you get to that point, because you think to yourself, after you come out of that darkness and into all this light, how could you let somebody drag you down when you know the total exact opposite? Like, I may have a big waist size, but that's not the true beauty of myself. I may have, like, attributes that are physically not as pleasing, but I can tell you one thing I do like about myself. One, I have beautiful, gorgeous blue eyes that change color multiple times. They go from gray, they go from blue, they go from green. I've even seen a light purple occasionally. Two, I have naturally brown curly hair. I think it's great, you know. Like, I can actually say, hey, look. The curls are coming back. My hair's not as dead as it used to be. That's great. I think I also have a nice rack as a woman. Hey, sometimes you have to love your boobs. You know, you gotta. I also think that for a plus size woman, I think I have a nice set of friggin' calves. So, but other than that, you know, the only thing I don't like about myself is my stomach. And I think it has to do with the fact that, you know, when you're so depressed, all you want to ever do is sit around and do nothing. And that's one of the problem areas that most people get. Their depression weight. So, yeah, I think I've learned that, you know, in the course of being sad in these relationships and angry and vengeful, it's not me that was the problem all the time. It was them. They couldn't see past the good. They were too busy being players, losers, liars, and cheats. And, you know, it's pretty bad when you go in retrospective of my relationship with Jay. Because, you know, it isn't until after the fact you find out that, you know, the person that you were pregnant with 2 kids with cheated on you. Or had been cheating on you. And you were happy. And thought that everything was going to be kosher once you had your kids. You know, I think it had to do with the fact of, I thought honestly he did love me. But because of all the problems I've had in the past with men, I think also in the process I pushed away. And I do push away often. I'm very hard to read. I also have a problem with relationships where I get with guys and they forget I'm a tomboy. It's not that I don't love you. You know, it's not that I don't want to have this relationship with you. I think my biggest problem is that I have problems differentiating between treating the buddies I have like my best friend, right, like one of the guys type deal, compared to the boyfriend type deal. And I think it's because my best friend and I have been together, oh God, since I was 16 as friends, and it's like, you have no idea the kind of love and respect I have for this man. He has put up with my crazy ass more than once. He's the godfather to my kids. I mean, he's the one that I turn to when shit goes wrong. You know, he was there for me. He was there for my boys. He's always been there. So John Wilson, thank you for that. But you know, I think the biggest problem is that I often get accused of, if I go to see him or any of my guy friends, of screwing around. Apparently when you're a tomboy, you're not supposed to have that many friends that are male. Because automatically you're assumed of screwing around. Not the case. I have major issues trusting guys and relationships altogether. And I just think to myself, God, there's got to be that one person that's going to see right through me, won't give a rat's ass how crazy I am, laugh at my craziness, and just, you know, be there for the front seat drive, and with me driving, you know, and just go with the flow. It's been very hurtful. Sorry. I mean, here I am burying my soul on a video. And it's going to go on my Facebook wall. And a lot of you are going to go, oh my God, what was this woman been through? You have no idea. It's kind of hard to explain to people the hurt and the anger that comes with it. Because the people that you're supposed to love that much when you have children and connect with them and make babies and stuff like that, you know, the whole fairy tale of the guy never leaves. That's what's supposed to happen. In my case, it didn't happen that way. And I know partially it's not my fault. But part of me in the back of my brain wonders what it would have been like if I had spoken up more. I know that it's not my fault, you know, that he had the aneurysm. And I know it's not my fault, you know, that he is the way he is. So, yeah. I think the biggest hurdle I've ever had to go through was Jay Westover Day. I think the biggest heartache is having to fill a spot where there's so many answers to be unanswered and so many questions that have yet to be said. Because you can't go to that person and you can't break up with them. And, you know, do you really want to believe the lies of what happened with his baby mama? Or do you want to just, you know, accept maybe it was just one person and then he woke up? I'm sorry this turned into something very sad. You know, I'm just thankful that James and Jason got lucky when they got Carrie in their life and her mom. And I'm very thankful that my sons are very observant little boys who turn around and say, hey, you know, this person might be great. Jason's at the age where he's trying to pick and choose. He's telling me he wants a dad for Christmas. And the way he defines a dad is weird because it's not necessarily a parent. I think it's weird. He's like, I don't need somebody to tell me I love you. I got that. I need somebody that's a boy to talk with me about things that only dads can tell. Do things. And he goes, dads are more or less buddies, Mom. That back up my mom and make her feel better. And fix her boo-boos. Unlike what I can do. So, yeah. I think that this is the longest video I've ever made, so I'll talk to you later. Just a few things that I thought maybe you'd like to get insight in. My life and my world. It's been a while. But if anybody's ever felt like the same way I have before, where it's like you can't trust anybody, you can't love or whatever, without the fear of getting hurt, click like. Because if we're all in the same boat, then hey, you know, might as well be in the same boat together. And I would like to find out, you know, or have somebody find out what it's like to be by my side without going nuts. I figure I can't complete somebody, but I can drive them crazy. That sounds doable. So, I'll talk to you later. Sorry for the sadness.